Autopilot in the next 30 minutes. A short overview, what I will talk about, and then what will I try to bring you as an information is first, what is Autopilot? As Lawrence already told a little bit about it, but I will also go into that. Then what are the requirements for it to or able to use it? Then what are the benefits of it, and what are how is the user experience? Then we'll do a little walkthrough how to set it up in Intune, and in addition to that, I will also show you a little clip how it or what will happen on the device that you have. You can see how it looks like on the device in the end. And of course, if you have any questions, we will go into those at the end. So, what is Windows Autopilot? It is a cloud-based deployment method which exists since a few years now. These are the devices can be deployed, they can be resetted, repurposed, with an experience that is nearly like a zero touch for the IT. So the IT department itself needs little or no manageable infrastructure to achieve the above with a simple and fast process. Windows Autopilot simplifies all aspects of the Windows device lifecycle for both IT and the end user, from initial deployment to the end of the lifecycle. By leveraging cloud-based services, it can reduce the total cost of deploying, managing, and disconnecting devices by reducing the time the IT spends on these processes and the size of the infrastructure to be managed, while ensuring ease of use for all types to end users at the same time. A little overview what you can do with Windows Autopilot is you can automatically register your device into the Azure Active Directory or Active Directory. There you need the hybrid Azure AD in addition to do it. You can automatically register devices in an MDM service like Microsoft Intune. You're able to restrict the administrator account creation. You can create and automatically assign devices to configuration groups based on the profile of the device. And you could customize the contents of the Windows welcome page to fit your organization. And in the end, it's like an out-of-the-box experience for the end user. So, how it was so far in the IT, we had to build a custom image. We had to do the settings, to do the policies. We had to apply the drivers, Office, and all the apps I want to use. I have to build an image for it and apply it to the devices. I deploy those images to a new computer. Overwriting was what was on it and takes a lot of time. And in the end, we used a lot of time and money to get this device up and running. And with Windows Autopilot, we want to reduce all those steps. So, what are the requirements for Windows Autopilot? First of all, you need Windows 10S, the versions 10S, the version Pro, Enterprise, or the education version, to use Autopilot. It has to be on version 1703 and higher to be compatible. Then you need those device identification informations. Those are the hardware ID of the device, also known as the hardware hash, and additional the serial number of the device. This can be either provided by the distributor where you buy your device as a CSV list, or if you want to use an existing device, you can install a little script with which you can export the needed infos and can import them to the Intune. I will show you this list later. And just as an information, this hardware ID is a unique ID of the device, and every time it has been taken on a device, it will be different, as there are informations in it, like the time when it has been taken, so it will change every time. Then, that the devices will work with Autopilot, you have to configure the devices in Intune already. Then the device has to have internet access, and you need the correct licensing. So, for example, the Microsoft 365 Enterprise E3 or E5 subscription would work, or the Enterprise Mobility and Security, also E3 or E5 subscriptions. And what also would work is the Azure Active Directory Premium P1 or P2. And additional the Microsoft Intune subscription if you use this. So, what benefits do I have from Windows Autopilot? The IT don't have to touch the devices anymore. They can send them reps to the end user. Till now, it took a lot of time to set up devices, as I already explained with the image and everything. It's a really easy process, and it's for the end user, it looks like an automated process on the device. There are different scenarios which can be used. There's like if you want to deploy devices that will be set up by a member of the organization and configured for that person, so the user needs his login credentials and can log in with that user. Or if you want to use the device for shared use, your kiosk modus, you can also use it for that. Or if you already have devices, you can redeploy a device in a business-ready status. You can pre-provision a device with up-to-date applications, policies, and settings, and everything. Or you also could deploy the Windows 10 on an existing Windows 7 or 8.1 device. This would also work. And yeah, there are mainly only 3 steps in the beginning. You need to register the devices with the CSV in Intune. You create a profile. You deliver the devices to the end user. And to create a profile, you mainly doing once at the beginning, and afterwards you don't have to do it anymore, as it's already configured then. There is probably one little problem which can occur when you're ordering the devices by a distributor, and the devices are faster at the end user than the CSV file is at the IT. You can't import the devices in Intune, and the devices for the users looks like they have to set them up manually. So that could be a little problem if the distributor is really fast. So the user experience, what sees the end user? Yeah, he gets the device as a wrapped packet. He can unwrap it, switching the device on, do some configurations. He only have to choose the language and the keyboard layout. He has to connect to the internet, and then if you used the deployment method where the user log in or use it as for the user itself, he has to log in with the Azure AD account or with the AD account, and then already the autopilot comes in place and skip a lot of the configuration steps, so the privacy steps are skipped, and also the end user agreements are skipped, so the user don't have to click multiple times. It looks similar to the Apple device enrollment program or the Android Zero Touch. It's really similar to it. And yeah, in the end, you can the device integrate into Azure AD and register it already in Microsoft Intune, so all the policies and apps and configurations are applied on the device, and also Windows Update already can be used. So the device is already always up to date. So who does what in this whole process and registering the device? So first, the autopilot can deactivate the local admin on the device. He can skip, as I already said, the end user license agreements with this OOBE, out of the box experience. This is a setting in which I will show you later. Then you can customize an individual login page. You do the Azure AD join. You skip all the privacy settings. This is all done by the autopilot. Then the Azure AD makes the MDM registration for you, and the MDM, like the Intune, does then the out-of-the-box experience settings. It does the configurations and policies, and it installs all the apps and set it up that it works as expected. Now, that is so far the overview. I will show you now a little walkthrough how fast you can set up this whole Windows Autopilot configuration. So for that, we log in into the Azure portal. Then we are, I already are on the page. Then, first of all, you need, as I explained earlier, you need this CSV with the hardware ID. I exported one of a device from my side, and this file looks like this. You have the serial number, then you could have the Windows product ID, but it's not necessary, and afterwards you see a really long number. This is this hardware hash or hardware ID, which is used to import the device in Intune. And first, you will go devices in here. I go on import, select files. I choose this file. I open it. It says already, okay, there is one row in it which can be used. Then I can import it, and it will take some time until the device is imported. During this time, I already can continue and go to Intune groups, and I will create an Autopilot device group for it. So I say I make a new group in here. It's a security group. The group name is now webinar, for example. Webinar Autopilot. Then you can choose how is the membership type. One is more for if you assign it manually, or if the user should dynamically could be used. And I can set the owner of my group and do our admin user. Where is it? That one, say that is the owner of the group, and as a member of the group, I select my user created for it, and then I create the group. Now it's in here. So in the meantime, the device has been imported to it. So if we go again to device enrollment, Windows enrollment, and devices, we can see that there is the Surface Pro has been imported to it. And now we have to create such a deployment profile, which does the initial setup of the device. First of all, we also give a name to it. The webinar Autopilot, for example, you can add a description. And then you also can set if you want to convert all targeted devices to Autopilot automatically. So if you have already existing devices in the group you already registered, it could be that those are overwritten and re-imported to Autopilot. So if you only want to convert those devices you really want to, I would recommend to say it here as a no. Then on the next page, this is out of the box experience. First, you can say if you want to have it user-driven, that is that the user self has to log in to the device with his AD account, or if you want to have it as a self-deploying preview, that the device automatically gets set up for you. I will stay at user-driven and join to Azure AD. You can choose now if you want your AD or the Azure AD. I will also stay at Azure AD. You can now decide if you want to show or hide the end user license agreement. If you want to hide privacy settings, you can account options, can also hide or show them. Then you can choose what kind of user type it should be, if it should be an administrator or a standard user. And you can also say if you want to apply already a name of the device. If you say yes, you can generate the device name. You could do something, for example, like Nomasis as the device, and then you want a random if you want to have a random string of numbers, you can also add this in the end. And of those number here is how many numbers it will generate. Then here you could add some additional tags for this profile, but that's not necessary. And now we can say which groups are included or excluded. So if you want, we have created our group before, we want our webinar group in here. That the devices which are in this group should be set up with Autopilot. We don't want to have any excluded groups. And in the end, you have a summary, what has been done, how should the device be set up, and you can create it. If you click on it now, you have also the overview, you have the properties you have done, you could edit them here in here, and you have your devices in here, which aren't any at the moment, as we don't have assigned the device to a user at the moment. So if we go back to devices and choose our device we have done here, we can say, okay, we want to assign a user, choose our user 1, and select. You can enter a friendly name if you say, okay, my email address is not, I'm not sure which user it is, you can enter a user ID here. And then you can save. And that's more or less, that's everything you have to do. And if you now reset your device and set it up, or if the device is already reset, but just if you start up your device now, you connect to the internet, and then it will come up with the login window. So you have to log in to your account, and afterwards it will be setting up automatically. And this can show you here in a little clip. It's just a moment. It will do some setup. Then it could look like this. You can see there what the device is setting up for you. Then this is a little bit speeded up, that it doesn't take that several minutes. And the device is set up. So, and after that step, now the device is set up, and after that step, the device is registered in Intune and will configure the apps you have specified. The configurations and stuff will be used now, or will be applied now. And it's really nice and fast way to integrate your device into your MDM and in your organization.